Laura Renwick. I'm here at home training with my husband, John. I'm just going to explain to you today, or we're going to explain to you today, about related distances and altering the horse's strides in between them. When you walk a course, you'll see riders striding out between jumps, working out the best stride pattern for their horse. And generally course builders, in the younger classes, they build very easy set sort of distances. As you get to more higher level and more advanced, the course builder will try and test you a little bit more by making the distances perhaps a little bit shorter or a little bit longer, and that's when you have to make the decision based on knowing your horse which is the best option to take. This particular line I'm going to show you now is built on a normal 4-stride distance, I would say. I'll ride it like that the first time and you'll see the horse just take a landing stride, 4 strides, pick up and jump. Then what we're going to try and do, and John will explain as well, is I'm going to try and take it in 1 stride more, as in 5 strides, which will hopefully come off, but that would mean preparing by coming to the first element of the distance a lot slower, so that when you land you're automatically straight in control. And then eventually then after that I'm going to try and do it in 3 strides, which is a real big stretch for the horse, and you'll see me and my approach to the first part of the distance will be a lot different than it would to the time before, so we'll try and see what happens. Right, this is John just now building the distance that we're going to use in this exercise. As you can see, he just stepped out 2 strides away from the fence, which is generally where the horse would land. Then he'll take 4 of his own strides, which will be 1 horse's stride. He's taken 1, 2 now, 3, and 4. And actually, that is actually built a little bit short on the 4 strides, but this is going to make the exercise that I've just said a little bit more difficult. So, but we're still going to try and do what I said. We're going to go for the 4 strides just to show you how easy it is for the horse just to take those natural 4 strides, and then we're going to try and slow it right down and take an extra 1. And then obviously a jump off situation, sometimes if you've got a horse that's capable with a big enough stride, you can save an awful lot of time by just taking a stride out here and there, but also you've got to still be able to keep the horse's hocks underneath you to make sure that the jump doesn't become too flat and you become like hurdle it. So it's just all about having, and you'll see as I approach the first part of the distance each time, how I'll have the horse in a slightly different gait. The canter will be slightly, the first time it just should be a natural canter, as I said, everything should just become naturally. The second time you'll see it'll be a lot shorter, hopefully, if it works. And then the last time I'll really sort of open her stride up a little bit before I even get to the first element. Then hopefully as she lands, she immediately lands a bit further out, and then her own momentum will take me down there on the less stride, but we'll see what happens. I'm going to come just on the normal 4 strides this time, so just get her in a normal canter. As I say, this should be just a natural distance for her to jump on. 1, 2, 4. See, that came very naturally. I didn't have to put any extra leg on, I didn't have to take a hold. That was just her natural way of coming to that fence on the way that it had been built. So I'll try and take an extra stride this time, which will mean just coming as slowly or as possible to the first one to make sure that I don't get too big a jump over the first element, which the momentum will take me out further than I want to go. So just have her immediately a lot more shorter underneath me. Just try and keep it like this. 4, 5. See, that was still a little bit quicker than I would have liked it, but she just jumped it, so she sort of almost knew what she was doing that time, but still she was obedient enough and she listened to me and she made the 5 there quite easily. This is a very short distance to try and get 6, so I'll try my best. Keep it as slow as possible. Even slower than before if I can, because obviously it's an octa as the first element, which naturally takes you out a bit further anyway. That's about as short as I could go then. I did do it. Wasn't very pretty, but good girl. For that reason that I said earlier, when you get to the sort of advanced levels of this sport, you do have to have a very obedient horse, because the technicality of the tracks becomes that much more difficult. And it's almost like it's almost like a car in a way. They've almost got to have gears. You've got to be able to, go from third to fifth, or you've been able to, they've got to just be able to do what you ask them to do. And like when it comes to winning or losing, those fractions of seconds that you can save by doing these things, which the horse is capable of doing because you've trained it, it can either shorten really quickly when you need to, or lengthen. It can all make the from first to fifth, it's a big drop. So they have to be able to do what you want them to do as much as possible. And you do a lot on the flat. We'd ride, with this great big area we're really lucky to have, I'd always say you don't want to just canter around. You want to extend them up one side, bring them back, just as I say, so you're always sort of alternating their stride, alternating their, so that they're very adaptable, I suppose is the word. But right, I'm going to try and do this on 3 now. Okay. Right, immediately we just try and get a bit of a more momentum up, but still keep the hocks underneath you. So she's just gone from, she's done 3, 4, 5, 6 strides down there. I mean, that, obviously a young horse, you'd never be able to do that on. It's just something that it comes with training and learning. And she's as I say, she's an experienced horse, but it's still an exercise for them when you're doing it, which is good. Good. I've got to be obedient.